Are you struggling to learn your Clifton strengths? Well, if that's you, don't worry, you're not alone. Learning about our strengths and weaknesses can be a challenging journey, but in today's episode, we're going to explore some of those common mistakes that people make when learning their Clifton strengths. So if you don't already have it, grab a pen and a piece of paper, get ready to take some notes, because we're going to dive right in, and we're starting right now. Hey everyone, my name is Gordon and welcome to another episode. If this is your first time with us and you want to learn more about Clifton Strengths, leading a strengths-based life, anything and everything related to leadership, leading people, leading organizations, and leading teams, don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well as the bell notification so you don't miss any cool updates or any of our new information. So today we're going to talk about common mistakes that people make when learning about their Clifton Strengths. Before we jump into that content and before we really start to expand on those mistakes and those things that we want to avoid doing as we're learning our Clifton Strengths, I just want to take a moment just to thank all of the folks who have subscribed to the channel and all of the folks who have spent time giving some feedback and sharing with us the wonderful things that they've seen in the episodes that we've shared and all the things that we're talking about with respect to leadership and with respect to Clifton Strengths. We really appreciate the feedback. It tells us that we need to continue to provide value and continue to give you opportunities to learn more about how to lead, how to learn, and how to just be better human beings and better people. So thank you. Much, much, much appreciated. So let's jump into the content. So what we're talking about today is something that people struggle with. And that is really authentically learning about your Clifton Strengths. Going beyond just taking the assessment, going beyond just knowing what your top 5 are, but really digging into what are the barriers or the roadblocks from us being able to utilize those strengths and really dig into them to use them to our advantage. So we're going to talk about some common mistakes that people make when learning about their Clifton Strengths and how we can take those mistakes, make sure we avoid them so that way we can implement our strengths, we can utilize them to our advantage, and we can do great things. So let's dig right in to mistake number 1 that you should avoid. Mistake number 1 to avoid: focusing too much on weaknesses. This is a big one. We know that we have weaknesses, and it's okay to understand that we have weaknesses, and it's okay actually to embrace the fact that we have weaknesses, but don't focus on them. When you focus on them, you block yourself from being able to focus on the natural talents and natural skills and the attributes and the excellent things that you can do to supercharge your performance, supercharge your work. So don't focus too much on your weaknesses because it will stop you from being able to take advantage of your strengths. When you are able to understand that you have weaknesses, not focus on them, refocus and reprioritize your energy on your strengths, now you can use those strengths to your advantage, and now you can focus on achieving your goals and achieving your objectives by focusing your attention on those strengths rather than those weaknesses. That's mistake number 1. Mistake number 2 to avoid: not understanding the differences between talents and strengths. So they may seem similar, but they're very, very different. Your talents are your natural skills and abilities. You're born with these talents. You're born with these unique abilities and skills. But your strengths are something different. Your strengths is taking that talent, that natural ability that you've been given, and when you've invested time, effort, and energy into building that talent, you turn it into a strength. So again, talents, natural ability, natural skills. Strengths, when we take those natural abilities, those natural skills, and we put time, effort, and energy into them, we develop them through that investment. We've developed them into strengths. So knowing those two differences, what do I walk in the door having the natural ability and natural talent around or for? And then what am I putting my time, effort, and energy into to create that and turn that into a strength? Understanding those two differences is really, really important to your overall strengths development. Mistake number 3 to avoid: not taking action. Now, this is a big one. So you've got the assessment, you've taken the assessment, you've invested 90 minutes to 2 hours just really going through and digging in and learning about yourself. And now you've gotten these results, and you've gotten your top 5, you've gotten your top 10, you've gotten your top 34, all in ranked order. And now you know what your talents are, you know what your natural abilities are. So now what do? Well, now to take that to the next level, you got to take action. Taking action is the key to being successful, completing a task, executing on a plan, creating the results that we want for ourselves. It's about taking action. So learning about your strengths and having that information is not enough. Taking action to implement and taking those natural talents from just being static natural talents that you have that are deeply inside of you and turning them into actual strengths is about, again, the time, the effort, and the energy of making those into strengths, investing that time. And that starts with taking action. Don't take for granted. Make sure that you take action so that way you can move to the next step in learning your Clifton Strengths. Mistake number 4 to avoid. Do not, please, I implore you, do not compare yourself to others. Now, let me tell you why. It is clear and evident through Gallup's research that we are unique individuals. It has actually now been shown through the research that only 1 out of every 33 million people will have the same top 5 in the same order. So that means you have talents and skills that nobody else has. Or the chances of you finding the same talents and skills in another human being are very, very, very remote. Let's embrace the fact that we have our own natural gifts, our own natural talents, and that they are unique to us, our strengths, our weaknesses, the things that are great, our talents. All those things are about us. Don't compare yourself to others. Knowing about you and yourself and taking the time to deeply explore that is the power in learning about your Clifton Strengths. It's not about comparing yourself to others, but about exploring yourself and all of the wonderful talents and skills that you have to offer to this world. Don't compare yourself to others. That is a critical mistake, and don't make that mistake when learning about your Clifton Strengths. So those are some of the common mistakes that lots of people make when learning about their Clifton Strengths. By knowing and understanding what those mistakes are and avoiding them, we can go on to be extremely successful in our learning and growth around our Clifton Strengths and our leadership development. And then we can go on to be successful in our own individual and unique way, which is what all of us should be striving to do. So there you have it. Some common mistakes that lots of people make when learning about their Clifton Strengths. But if we can understand that we can avoid some of those mistakes, sidestep those mistakes, we'll be able to achieve our goals and implement our Clifton Strengths journey in a really, really effective and unique way. So if you like today's episode, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, like the video, subscribe to the channel, share it with a friend. For more information on other Clifton Strengths resources, coaching and mentoring, etc., check the description below. Understanding that these mistakes can sidetrack us, that's okay. As long as we stay on the path and as long as we stay on the journey. Clifton Strengths is a powerful platform. It's a powerful framework that we can learn a lot from. So if you liked today's episode, check out this episode as well. It's another good resource to learn more and more about Clifton Strengths. It's always a privilege and a pleasure to serve this community. Look forward to serving you more, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks, everyone. Be well.